Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Julie and I mostly make content surrounding topics such as music, makeup, as well as mental health. Today's video is just a makeup one. I felt like filming, or more so half felt like filming. I was like, oh, I really want to sit down and talk about corpse and everything because I was talking about how I watched Anthony Padilla's video and I was really interested in speaking on it, but I don't know, my brain isn't like fully there into that yet, so I figured I would just sit down, do my makeup, and talk because that's the best way for me to film, because then it just flows as I'm doing something else to ease my mind in a sense. So yeah, I've got pink brows on for emo person Easter because holidays suck for me. I don't like holidays, and I'm gonna use a brush like this and a light blue, and I was thinking of just, well, of course this is creasing now. I was thinking of just doing like a line of blue, like almost a wing, and then just filling in the rest baby pink. And of course, everything else I do you won't see on here because I get too nervous. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I turned the lighting on this down. I know I say every video, oh, I'll remember, and then I don't. But yeah, so I'm just making a wing. I guess I'll just do that on both sides. Why not? And going from there. They're not going to be even. I don't really care. I don't know how this is going to look. It does not matter. It's just nice to do a coping skill. So I guess that brings me to my first point. I notice a lot of people, and myself included, get pretty... oh, I wanted that higher. LOL. Anyway, get pretty aggravated with sort of like neurotypical suggestions for mental health. Like, oh, you're depressed? Okay, go for a run. Like, oh, you're depressed? Eat something. Take a shower. Like, and so where do I stand on this? Well, I think self-care is important. I think suggestions for self-care are great, and obviously I give those to clients as well. However, from a clinical standpoint, sometimes people have depression so severely. They can even have treatment-resistant depression where they've tried meds, they've tried even like TMS, and which y'all know has helped me, and it does not help. And that must be the worst feeling. So imagine that you get stuck in bed, you struggle with your hygiene and your functioning, excuse me, which we don't talk about enough as a symptom of depression for a lot of people, especially major depressive disorder, if you've dealt with recurrent and severe episodes of that throughout your life. And then we're giving all of these very just like neurotypical suggestions that more so, I feel, help people with stress. Like help someone who just has a lot of stress in life. Like a busy parent who really needs to step back and figure out how to care for themselves ultimately, right? You know, I think some people have the tools to do self-care, and maybe at one point in their life they were better about it than they are now, but it doesn't always work that way for people, and not everyone has the time to do, you know, ultimate self-care. But as a clinician, I think about that and think, okay, what's something a client could do for like 10 minutes to take care of themselves? But I think the important distinction here is it's not depression treatment to, you know, help someone to cope. Like, all coping skills are just that. They're coping skills. The hope is they will make someone feel better over time by practicing them, but you can't guarantee that's going to make someone's symptoms get better or go away, even though there is, yeah, a lot of clinical research too. Oh, exercise is good for you, and having a schedule, structure, personal hygiene. In my mind, that may be very beneficial to some people, and other people it's still beneficial. We should all do self-care. But is it really going to treat such a severe condition or severe presentation of symptoms? And so you just have to tread lightly, I feel like, when you recommend stuff like that to people. Like, say, I'm recommending meditation to you because it was helpful to me. It's a coping skill, not I think you're going to meditate and you're not going to have mental illness anymore. Because no, it does not work that way. And so my reasoning for bringing this up, not only to validate people who go through this, beyond that, is just that I have friends who really struggle with mental health, who've been insulted by these things, and there's a lot of training that goes into being a therapist. I have to do 3,360 hours of work before I'm licensed, so years and years and years of unlicensed work, or I can fly free and be on my own. And I already have a master's degree. I already did an undergraduate bachelor's degree with 40 classes, and I did a graduate degree that was 61 credits, so it was 20 classes. I did 700 free hours of an internship, so it's just really concerning when stuff like this happens. Oh, and I'm so concerned I cannot figure out where my brush is that I want. Maybe this one right here. I almost called him a guy. Is it a guy though? It's not. It's a non-gendered brush. I don't know what's happening, y'all. I apologize, but I just wanted my thought process to sort of come out here because I was a little bit aggravated. So another thing I want to vent about. And again, I'm an emotion mind person. I know I am an emotion mind. However, I am aware of the logic. I am aware of other people's perspectives. Perspective taking is not helpful to me as someone with complex PTSD and BPD. Just brings me a lot of guilt and shame. Like, yes, I know I feel the things I'm not supposed to, or my feelings don't match the situation. Yes, I'm aware they should look like this. I'm aware I should rationally be like this. I'm aware why this person did that. It doesn't take away from my feelings, and I'm going to honor them by speaking on this today. So essentially what happened was I posted in a Facebook group about just jobs in the field. Because even with the job that I have now, I can't work for competitors, but I could work at like an agency or another company that did something different because it's not a competitor. I could have another job if I wanted to. So I just don't know a lot clinically about what's out there, and I was curious about what might be out there. So I figured going in this Facebook group, I would ask, and I got like someone who was kind of helpful, like giving me some suggestions, but I got one person who was like, well, if you can only work remotely and you can only handle this and this, then I don't know, and that's going to be hard. Why did you comment? Sorry, headphone users. Why? Like, why do people think it's helpful to say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any suggestions? Great, then don't frigging comment. Like, what is the point of your comment that wasted time in my day? That is how I feel. And that, again, perspective taking, I can say that person felt bad for me. They had empathy. They understood that people have limitations. I can do that all day, but my feelings matter, and I'm friggin' aggravated about stuff like that. It bothers me to no end. So what triggered my rant prior about self-care was a therapist recommended that to me, like, oh, well, I struggled being a therapist too because of high burnout, blah, but if you go to therapy and practice self-care, like, and other modalities and treatment and blah, it's gonna help you. What do you think I've been doing all these years? What do you think I've been doing? Why do you think I'm a therapist? It is not because I went, ooh, I just want to help people, I'm gonna go learn about it from a book and some internship. It's lived experience. I've been mentally ill my whole life. I've had anxiety since I came out of the womb. I've had depression since I was 9 years old. That's 20 years living with depression, okay? And so I just don't understand. Like, I have been fighting to cope my whole life. I was always a kiddo who worked really hard in school. Mind you, I am privileged. I have nice supportive parents, nice upbringing. I don't have learning disabilities that get in the way. I will admit my mental health gets in the way. That happened more so in my 20s when I went to college. I was a really strong student throughout school. But what bothered me about when I went to school and was a strong student is no teachers would look my way. No one would bring me up and get me services for mental health because all they cared about were grades. And so the kids who didn't do well in school and had mental health always got picked up on, which they should, but so shouldn't every kid. No child should be, left behind in what kind of mental health care that they need. So to me, that's just wrong, and it's upsetting, and I go back and think about those things. And to this day, what am I doing right now? I'm making a YouTube video despite only half wanting to, okay? Did I want to do my makeup today? Not really. Did I want to get dressed today? Not really. Did I want to go for a walk or have breakfast today? No. My whole life, guys, is opposite of the action. That is the most important DBT skill to my whole life. And I am told, oh yeah, after doing that for a while, you'll feel better. You'll just want to do things. Like I said, I've had depression since I was a kid. I really feel like I should go for another round of TMS because my motivation is just not really there. It's not. I just force myself. I know my opposite of the action skill. I talk myself out of things and I force myself, and it doesn't really make me feel any better. It's like trading one emotion for the other. Like, I would be super down right now if I wasn't doing stuff, but I'm anxious because I'm forcing myself to do stuff, which I guess is the better alternative. But I just find it really insulting when people, especially a therapist with clinical training and a master's degree like me, is like, oh, self-care. I'm like, wait. I didn't ask for advice on this post. Why are you giving me unsolicited advice? Unsolicited advice is one of my least favorite things ever, and it drives me up a wall. So anyways, with this in mind, I'm gonna clean this up and come back with foundation and lashes on and ish. I love you guys, BRB. Hey lol, your favorite emo MB alien is back. If only I was your favorite. No, it's okay, I'm joking. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna do my foundation and keep talking about how annoying people are for me. If you did not know, human beings are my biggest trigger. If I could just stay alone all day and do what I had to do, I would still get triggered because I'm me. And everything bothers me. Everything makes me anxious, uncomfortable, mad, blah, whatever. But I feel like I can handle things so much better when I'm on my own and I'm not like inconveniencing other people with my problems, or other people are in my emotion mind causing my problems and, you know, upsetting me with the things that they say. So I'm realizing that my agoraphobia and social anxiety go hand in hand. Both are definitely due to my complex PTSD, and that is just making everything worse for me. So bringing that into another point, I'm sure many of you are getting vaccinated, which yay! I'm so happy. I think that's really important right now with the way of the world. I've been sitting in my house pretty much for a whole year. It's been great for my agoraphobia. Not, actually, that it sucks really bad. I don't regret making that sacrifice. I don't want to be selfish, and I don't want to put myself or others at risk in any way. Also, my nose foundation is not blending so great. That's you anyways. So yeah, essentially my mom has been trying to find a place where I could do a vaccine in a safe way, you know, like a drive-through type thing. And I've been told that there's videos of people like here on YouTube getting vaccinations that can't wear masks for different reasons, but it's like, oh, if they have tics or if they have like COPD, you know, I feel like some people are more understanding because it makes logical sense to them why someone can't wear one. But like, let me put it this way to you, there's a lot of things that I struggle with and a lot of things that I am actively working on. And if I say I can't do it, I mean it. And to go into that a little more clinically, actually, which is what I've been thinking about. I'm just trying to fix my nose. Oh my goodness gracious, what happened? Going into that, so I was talking to my colleague about how you do exposure therapy, and a good gauge she told me about is, I'm just taking this extra foundation off and talking to you about it. For what reason? I don't know. Essentially what my coworker said is, especially if people have trauma, checking in with them consistently while doing exposure, because it can be distressing, is very important, because you want to push, but you don't want to push too hard. And that goes for in general, even if people don't have trauma. So she was saying you take an assessment if their anxiety or whatever emotion is between a 60 to 70 in severity, then it's workable. But if it's higher than that, then no. So, you know, me going for a walk, I can get up to that 60 to 70 range nowadays, even though I go with someone else. I panic when I see other people, and depending on my mood and symptoms as well, I might panic if I see, you know, a lot of people or there's a lot of noise or cars going by and stuff. I can get like a little claustrophobic feeling, but I push myself. I know where I can push myself, and I am willing to do those things. And another thing I've pushed myself to do that I feel like I've gotten barely any credit for is definitely ED recovery. Now, I have a video on my channel. I think I've talked about that. It's a little triggering. It's still there and it's disordered, and you don't need to prove you have an ED to be valid to get treatment. And I think that that's where I was at the point when I made that video. But in that video, I reach out for help, and that's how I realized, or how I decided I needed, you know, ED treatment. I can't live like this anymore. But I was living like that, maybe not in that severity, but at different points in my life for years and years without acknowledging it, thanks to diet culture and different things. And let me tell you right now, restoration, so physical restoration and recovery is one of the hardest things I have ever done in my whole life. I don't know that I'm completely done. My dietitian has cleared me to be less focused on that and just to practice intuitive eating. So I'm at the point where I can practice some intuitive eating principles, which, you know, deep in my head, none of those resonated with me. And you know what? I just want to talk about my ED. I can't stand that it's like, oh, it's too triggering. And so then I don't. Like, I understand. I emotionally and logically understand. I understand that they're so easily triggered. And if I put a TW this, like, someone's going to watch this to intentionally do something to themselves. And I don't want that. So that's why I'm not going into detail. I'm just speaking that I am pretty far along into my recovery and I've restored a good amount. I don't want to, again, no numbers, details, nothing. But it's not what people think. It's not a just listen to your body process. You need a dietitian to assist you with the process. It's really, really difficult and can be distressing to go through. And so I told clients about this too. Say someone has like agoraphobia, social anxiety. They're like, I can't go to that party. I can't go out. If they're truly going to get to like 90 to 100 going out and there's smaller steps they can take, that's valid. And you can work on that with them and you can meet the client where they're at and say, okay, like you're going to avoid this and maybe that won't be so great in the long run, but you can. When it comes to ed, you can't. And you have to recover long before you're ready behaviorally. It's a lot of opposite of the action for a skill. It's a lot of urge surfing. And it's hard. It was, out of all the mental health struggles I've had, it was one of the hardest things to overcome because like many other people, once I was in treatment, I realized, oh my God, I've been dealing with some of these behaviors for years and years and years, like since I was a kid, and no one picked up on it because so much of it is just normalized. So the first principle of intuitive eating is to reject diet mentality, which you all know I get triggered by diet culture. I hate it. You can talk to me about your ED all day. I won't get triggered. It won't trigger me. I used to be in a place that doesn't anymore. I'm doing so well with that. And that's why I love doing ED treatment clinically as well with clients. Like my heart is in it because I've lived it. And it's just the diet culture stuff that really bothers me. But anyway, I feel this is a good stopping point for me rambling. I'm going to do my under eyes and contour, and then I will come back to chat a little more. Yeah, so this alien will see you soon. Hey cutie pies, I know I'm not really good at doing much makeup on camera lately. I'm sorry about that. If you can't tell, I'm a little agitated this morning. Just a tad, you know, but wonderful. We're keeping that in. I'm doing my highlight now. I just ate some of it. Well, not really, but and I tried to remember to turn my light off or down again. Okay, that's the wet side, Jules. That's the wet side, Jules. I'm using a nice BH Cosmetics highlight, which I use a lot. Ready to Glare is the one that I actually found this highlight palette through because she doesn't really like just like plain white highlights, although there is a nice white highlight in here that I use a lot. But this palette's cute if you want to match your highlight to other parts of your outfit or makeup or whatever. So yeah, but anyway, I just had to like vent to you guys about a few things that to me are really bothersome. I feel like I am working as hard as I can. I feel like holidays in general are really hard for me, so it's great. I'm doing my makeup and that Dave is gonna come over, and I'm also really proud of myself for being back on Twitter because I cowered away from Twitter in fear. Like, I can never go back. It will just always trigger me and be a bad thing. And now I'm just trying to be aware of when that happens and, like, what I can do to cope with it and where I went wrong last time and, you know, getting involved in things and all of that. And I'm trying to be better about it. So if you follow me, let me know. Am I doing better right now? Because I'm trying to be better, but I'm never going to be a robot because I'm an alien. And I don't know if I talked about that in a video at all, about essentially how I feel like an alien most of the time. I just don't relate to most people in real life that I meet. That's why I love this area of Twitter that I'm on, because I relate a lot to my friends and such. I feel like this is not wet enough, because the other side is brighter, I feel like. Can you guys tell? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, and I actually was reading a blog about how that's actually a symptom of complex PTSD to just feel like an outsider and feel different than everyone else. And I think a lot of people feel that way that don't have complex PTSD. I think that can happen to anyone with like depression, low self-esteem, ADHD even, perhaps, like depending on what their childhood was like. I think that it varies a lot, but it's just so complicated for me and I don't even know where to begin. And then another realization I made, so I think I've talked a little bit about how I'm interested in getting certified in RRT. It's rapid resolution therapy. It's a short-term trauma-informed trauma treatment, and it's not re-traumatizing like a lot of other trauma treatments. And I feel like not only would it be good for me to get trained in it to help other people and for a career, there's only one practitioner in Mass that does it. They're actually a hypnotherapist too, so I would be the second. But I don't know. I don't know if this early on I want to do it, but I also feel like it could be a good treatment for me personally. And I was talking about this on an Instagram caption because my concern is if I didn't have mental illness, if I didn't have trauma, what would my life be like? And that's so disordered, and it's okay to worry about that. I validate that for myself, but I still would be me, right? I think it's just the BPD and complex PTSD if I don't know who I am. Everything about who I am is defined by labels. Emo, makeup, mental health, music, YouTuber, therapist, like it's all just traits, but is it definitively really me, or is it things I'm clinging to so that I feel like I have an identity? Anyway, that's really deep. I'm gonna go put a lip product on and do an outro for this, guys. Hey, I finished my makeup, so hope you like it. I used the ColourPop Just a Tint in Chubby Bunny, which I thought was perfect for Easter because it's bright, bright pink. It's not as bright because I used like a nude lip liner, essentially. Oh, and then I really like this Revlon clear gloss my mom got me, so I put that over it just for something. I don't always do neutral-ish lips, but I think it goes nice with this look. I'm proud of myself for doing my makeup today and talking through my feelings with you all. Thank you so much for watching today. If you got through this all the way, leave me a comment that says roar, roar, dinosaur in it. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm so curious who actually watches my whole like video because the watch time is always so poor. I credit that to TikTok, and sorry, no, I still do not have any interest in making TikTok. I can make a whole video about how annoying I find TikTok to be, not to invalidate anyone who uses it, and I know there are plenty of people who find wonderful resources on there, and I think that mental health therapists on there are really accessible. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Sorry, I'm so aggravated. Actually, no, I'm gonna validate. It's okay, I'm aggravated, and sorry if it does affect someone else. I hope this video was entertaining to watch. I love you all so much. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. You can follow me on my social medias down below. My Instagram's Julie_counseling. My Twitter's Jules Counseling with no underscore, and it's Jules, not Julie. It's a new one. My Facebook page will be linked in the description box down below too. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Happy holidays. Bye all.